Why does anything exist at all? What is this? What does it mean to exist? Was it all an accident? Did it all just happen because it could? Walk on the sidewalk. There's a sidewalk right there. After my last video the other day, I tried to find out what the hell was going on. So I called my mother. And I asked her, Mom, why is my sister saying that Aiden is my nephew, or son, or, son, yes. And she said, I don't know what you're talking about. And I said, are you sure? She said, honey, and she got upset. She said, honey, I only know what you know. If I find out something, I'll let you know. Why would I hide this from you? And I said, I don't know, Mom, you're right. I'm sorry. And she hung up. The next person I called was Bill Carrot, my sister's ex, who I thought was Aiden's father. And I said, hey, Bill, it's Dan. I don't know if you remember me, but there's some controversy with Aiden. You know, who Aiden's real dad is and all that stuff. So I was wondering if you knew anything about that or why there would be any confusion. And he laughed really, really hard. A deep, guttural laugh. And then he said, oh, Dan, you have no idea, buddy. And I said, what? What do you mean? And then he hung up too. Then my mom called me back, and I picked up, and she was crying. And she said, honey, I'm so sorry. She could barely speak. She was crying so hard. I'm so sorry I did this to you. I'm so sorry we did this to you. I'm so sorry. And I said, Mom, what are you talking about? And she said, your sister, when we had your sister, we had to use a surrogate because I could not have children anymore. And I thought that was going to be the big secret. But she kept talking. And she said, so we were going to use your father's. And I said, okay, you don't have to tell me this part. I know how it works. And she said, no, listen. Do you remember the thing you used to do with the jars? And I said, yeah, I still do it. I still do it every New Year's. And she said, do you remember how you would keep them in the downstairs freezer? Basically, if you didn't watch the last video, I explained that every New Year's at midnight, at the stroke of midnight, literally, which was the same joke I used in the video before, but I think it's funny, so I wanted to say it again in case you haven't heard that yet. At the stroke of midnight, literally, I will put my DNA fluid into the jar, and it's supposed to be sort of ritualistic magic that helps me have a good year, basically. And I know it sounds silly and stupid and superstitious, but I don't know, it's I guess it doesn't work. I guess I should stop doing that, because clearly it doesn't work. Anyway, I said, yes, I remember, Mom. I had one in the freezer for every year. The first year was 2005, and then I had 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, up until I moved away from Maryland. And she said, yep, exactly. 3 years after your sister was born, we went into the downstairs freezer to get fish sticks for dinner. And we looked through the jars because we thought maybe it was behind them. And we found the jar that your father was supposed to have given to the clinic. The jar with your father's. And so we said, that's odd. Why would this be in here? Did you bring it home from the clinic afterwards? No. Did you? No. I haven't seen this in years. And we both looked at each other and we said, what if, as a joke, we said, oh my God, what if we accidentally gave them one of Dan's jars? And she said they both laughed, because that was such a ridiculous idea. That would be so funny. So they looked through the jars, 2006, 2005, 2008. They couldn't find 2007. So they looked and looked and looked. They still couldn't find it. So my mom told me they tore up every inch of the house trying to find 2007, the jar. But it was nowhere to be found. And we looked at each other like we had both just seen ghosts. And we said, we have to take this to our grave. And she said, to this day, we've torn up every inch of that house trying to find 2007. Every day we look for 2007, the jar. But we haven't found it. Your sister is your daughter, Dan. And at that moment, I came offline. 404 error. Dan not found. And I said, what? Give me 1 second, Mom. and I puked for the first of many times that I would puke over the course of the past 2 days. Came back on the phone and my mom was still crying. And I said, Mom, there must be a mistake. Maybe I have 2007. So I looked everywhere in my room for 2007. I didn't have it. I only had them starting 2015. I tore apart my car. I went back to my old apartment and I knocked on the door of every single apartment I've ever had in LA and asked them if they had seen a jar that was labeled 2007. And they all said no. And I said, can I take a look? And they said, sir, we're going to call the cops, please. That was what the one apartment said. One of the people actually did let me take a look, but I think that they were... And that just got me thinking, because I've said, I don't know how to react. I don't know how to feel. I've said that a lot in my life. But I'm realizing I never truly meant it until now. I don't know how to feel. I don't even know if I feel anything. I don't know who I am. I don't know what it means to be me. I don't know what I am. I don't know what all of this is. Where are we? What is anything? That's the only thing that gives me any semblance of comfort. The only thing that stops me from puking again is remembering that we still don't know what it means to be at all. So how can I possibly know what it means to be a daughter or a son or a nephew or a dad? I don't even know. What do all those words even mean? They mean nothing. We came up with those words because we thought we felt a certain way. But what happens if you don't feel that way? What happens if you feel a different way? What happens if actually it turns out that your sister is your daughter after you've known each other for 25 years? I don't know. It's all just strands of DNA that mean nothing. I was driving this morning and I saw a deer, a family of deer. And I said, do they know what it means to be a mother or a daughter or sister or a nephew? Or are they just eating grass all day? Do they feel anything? Or do they feel like me now? Do they just stare straight ahead and walk forward? Are we the only ones who are crushed by the weight of wondering what we are? Why should we bother? Maybe we should be like that deer. And just walk forward. I can't stay at my house. I got a hotel. I came back to my house the other day after I talked with my mom, and my sister was, or my whatever she is, that person was saying, are you, did you finally realize that I'm right about everything? And blah, blah, blah. Because she could tell I was. And I said, please, you can have whatever you want. I will give you my credit card. You can have my house. You can have my car. Well, never mind, you can't have my car. But you can have everything else. Just never talk to me again. What are we?